for this. All right, here we go.
Oh my goodness.
Welcome back to this Hobby of Hours. My name is Dee, your host. I'm here today with Miss Jenny Poo Bubbles. How are you, Miss Jenny Poo Bubbles? How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you.
All right, project your voice, girl. The internet needs to hear you, especially over these jets today. I'm in Los Angeles hanging out with friends, this friend, that friend today. An immense pleasure to have a bite to eat with my good friend Jenny Poo. And we're going to talk some watches, and we're going to talk about cat rescue. Is it called cat rescue?
It's cat rescuing, yes.
Cat rescuing? Okay. And I want to hear how you trap the feral cats as well. We'll get into that in a minute. But I've known Jenny for a bunch of years. We met back in poker. We used to play in a points league called Bar Joe to Poker Pro. Are they even still around?
I don't think so.
It was so much fun, and I was going through a breakup. I needed a hobby, and I was playing poker. It's like a bowling league, but with poker for points, and they had tournaments and so forth. I was playing poker 3 to 5 times a week, and I got pretty decent.
Right?
But it never converted to success in Vegas. I'm not a gambler. It's not my jam. But I would do good in home games. In fact, there's this one home game where I was playing against Jenny, and I'd convinced her, persuaded her, I had 4 8s. When we had the same hand, she was so mad. She's one of the sweetest as can be women I've ever met, but boy, she was a little off put by that night. But I digress. So, Jenny, tell us a little bit about your history with watches.
None.
None? You've never had a watch?
My friend did recently convince me to get a Movado, which is
Welcome
supposed
to the
be
world of
really
Movado.
fancy. Movado.
Well, here's the thing. I am your watch friend now. I don't know
Okay.
who that person is. Movado does make some nice pieces.
It was pretty. But I sold it because it was too expensive. I could have got a whole cat eye removed for that.
But you bought it and then sold it.
Yes.
Where did you buy it?
Macy's.
Oh, you got to come to your boy D. I'll help you out with that.
Yeah, that was probably.
They are attractive pieces. I think that since you're pure class, I would go with Cartier, darling. If you were my girl.
Okay.
If you hadn't turtled up. True stories. We never dated, but we almost got close to it.
We went on a date.
We went on
Sort
like
of.
semi. I think you were interested in me, and then I was interested in you, but you weren't in me or something. Right now, she's completely immune to my charms, which I don't know. That we can't have that spreading, because whatever that immunity is, we don't want that immunity out there. But she's an absolute dear and a tremendous friend. And part of today's video, we're going to talk some watches with Jenny, because it's good to get perspective from different people, not just people who are into watches, but people who are on maybe a little bit interested in it. If you bought it in the first place, what'd you drop on it?
800.
Yeah, that's a Macy's price. I like some of the Movado pieces, and in one of the other videos I've shot this week, I bought an F Movado at the Rhodium once. You can't say it was a make-believe watch. You can't say the other thing because the algorithm does something to your video. Oh, and the sun's doing something to my face at the moment as well. Be that as it may, yeah, if you're interested in that watch, we can probably get it back in your collection. Or Cartier, darling. Absolute Cartier. Okay, so we're going to look at some watches, and then we're going to hear you talk about how you trap or catch feral cats. Just like Bob Barker used to say, have your pets spayed or neutered so that they're not out there reproducing in the wild and causing overpopulation issues in the feral cat community. And also what you're doing with the adoption, which is pretty rad. So let's pay the bills first with some watch talk, and then we'll get into the other stuff. Yeah?
Sounds good.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to show you what is generally accepted as we'll call it perfect 3-watch collection. Now, I don't advocate for a 3-watch collection. I can't control myself. But if I had to narrow down, these three, like most folks out there who dig watches will agree, oh yeah, those are three good watches. And being that you may have seen some, but not, there's at least one of these you may not have seen, I want to get your perspective on it. Like, there's nothing better than talking watches with a hottie, especially when she'll put up with your blah blah, and Jenny puts up with my blah blah. Boom. All right, first up, have you heard of the name Rolex?
Yes.
Of course you are, because you got fancy pants. You're fancy. It's all good. So this is what's called a Rolex Submariner. It's a dive watch.
Okay.
Now, what do you think about that? Maybe not for yourself, but let's say you're on a dating app and you see a picture of a guy wearing that watch. You're going to swipe right, aren't you?
Sure.
Yeah, because it's hot.
Okay.
No, because it's expensive, right? Let's be honest. Do you generally dig the watch? On a man, do you think it's masculine?
Okay, well, I don't like the wristband. I like more of like a plain,
Like a leather?
Yeah.
Like a less bracelet. That's
and
easily
also,
changed.
I don't really like too fancy guys.
Oh, well, this is not really what a fancy man would wear. No, these are not cheap. This is not, well, you know.
I would like a guy to have more common sense than to spend that kind of money on a watch.
Wow. It's a good thing we didn't kiss that day on the beach, because we would be having problemas.
Which I felt terrible for spending $800 on that watch, which is why I sold it.
I feel terrible about it because I know we could have probably got it to you for $400, yeah. same unit. But yeah, guess how much this watch costs?
$1,500.
At a zero.
Oh wow.
To the end.
Oh
yeah.
wow. I would definitely not date that guy.
There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them out in LA, babe.
Oh no, my gosh, that's terrible.
Retail, they're I think around $9,500, but you can't get them at retail because the demand is so high that the ADs restrict who can buy them. Like, I could roll in there with $100 grand, gripped. Sorry, sir, we don't have anything for you.
Wow.
Until I buy a bunch of other bric-a-brac, pearls, necklaces, diamond rings for my girl, and then maybe they would sell me one. Maybe. So you have to go to what's called the secondary market, the gray market, where the people who do have access, they buy it for $9,500 and they immediately relist it for 15 large, and it's getting bought and sold every day. But yeah, it's actually a watch that's highly faked, which is a problem, and the fakes are getting better. And moreover, people are getting knocked off for these watches. They're getting held up. There's a lot of watch crime out here. It's good to know you're not into a dude with a Rolex. How about our next piece? The Omega Speedmaster. You don't like it, or you wouldn't like a dude who likes it?
It's okay.
Just okay?
Yeah.
It's a chronograph.
Again, I'm not a fan of this band.
Oh, you don't like the bracelets? Well, the bracelets bands are easily swappable.
Okay.
Even on a Movado. But it's basically a stopwatch. Those pushers start, stop, and reset. This watch went to the moon. This was on space. This is what the watch they wear. I think they still wear it, but back in the 60s, whenever we went to the moon, or 70s, 60s or 70s, I should know that. This is the watch they were wearing. I actually have one of these. I got it at a steal of a deal, though. So, but you don't. What if a dude showed up on a date with this? What would you do?
Is he gonna tell me that he got a really amazing discount on it?
At least one of the guys will.
Because I like a discount.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought it was framed in the negative. I didn't know you were digging that. Okay. I got an incredible discount on this one. I can't even say how good of a discount it is because I don't want to offend anyone because they're not getting that discount anymore. And it was mostly due to the listing having bad photos. So I think that is a thumbs down on the Rolly, thumbs up on the Omega. We got a one-gun salute happening behind us. So that first watch was a dive watch, which is a more or less a category of a type of watch. And then chronograph is also kind of a category. What do you think the next category would be? You're a smart, stylish girl. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know.
Dress watch.
Okay.
Yeah, something you could wear as a dress watch. Now, these first two, really rather masculine. They wear large. Although, some women can pull it off. A beautiful woman can do whatever she wants, regardless of how big the watch is. It's oftentimes referred to as the boyfriend watch. The implication that they borrowed it from their boyfriend, but like I said, it's a woman's world. You can do whatever you want. All right, next watch, dress watch.
Nice.
Because it's not on a steel band, it's on leather. Yeah. This is the JLC Reverso.
Okay.
And it's a remarkably beautiful watch. Goes back to, I think, 1931. And this case, you can't see it in this photo, but this case pops out, and this whole middle section goes over here, flips, and comes back and locks into place. And the back of it is either steel, and you can have it engraved. And that was designed so that polo players could flip the watch around and not have any damage to the crystal. But what JLC did in later years is they started putting a second complication on the back. So you'd have one dial and time on the front, you'd flip it over, and you'd have a different dial and different complication on the back, sometimes a different time zone, sometimes a different feature. There's so many of them out there that they're really nice. What do you think this watch generally goes for? Now that you're a watchinista.
10,000.
Excellent guess, pretty much spot on.
Wow.
We can get them under, and we always buy used, pre-owned, because there's no need to pay. It's like when you buy a car. As soon as you drive it off the lot, you've lost thousands of dollars. Same goes for watches.
Okay.
Like, they also make ones that are like $80,000, $100,000. But this one we could probably get 65, 7. So spot on guess, Jenny Poo. Well done. So this is what people would generally consider as a 3-watch collection.
Okay.
They would have all 3, and if I had all 3 of these, it's a pretty strong collection. It's pretty monochromatic, black and white, silver.
What is this one that you're wearing now?
Oh, this one? Thank you for asking, darling. This is the Sunto Core All Black, as worn by Mr. Denzel Washington in The Equalizer.
Okay.
This watch actually is going to factor heavy into today, not today's video, but this week's trip, because me and G Money, we're going to go to the shooting range, because I bought a $15 replica of this, an F watch as we call them, make-believe watch, and we're going to take it to the shooting range, and I'm going to launch it, pull! We're going to shoot it out of the air.
Okay.
Or end up in the emergency room. Could go either way, we're not sure yet. But
that sounds like a very guy's afternoon.
It's probably going to take all day. My strategy is for him to be on one side with the gun. I mean, with the pew-pew machine. And, because you can't say the G word either. And then I'm going to be on the other side. I think I'm going to tie it to fishing line. And he's going to say pull, and I'm going to launch it. Probably with an arm throw. It'd be really funny if I had an actual fishing rod and I could just cast it all the way out there. That would be. Do you want to go buy fishing poles? You want to go fishing? No, you don't want to? Okay, I can't blame you.
How many watches do you have?
Too many and not enough.
How many watches do you have?
I purposely don't know. And I purposely don't disclose it. It's my little secret.
Oh, okay. Yeah. More than 20?
No comment. You need to watch the channel.